Hello, good evening. Welcome back to the stream. Monday night surprise stream in the Crosslink studio. Welcome. I see Maker Viking is here. Welcome. Good evening. Tutum Carmen, Connor, Xyleon. Thanks for coming to the stream. A couple of people are already jumping in. Probably not that crowded tonight. Still decided to go live anyways because I wanted to make some progress on the build with the Voron V0. Last week we did finish with the bed assembly, but I continued building the next day and basically did assemble the frame, which was a little bit, yeah, it wasn't too exciting, I'd say. Just putting together the frame parts here, tightening up this part here. This was already prepared, so basically was just about to get the things together. Preloaded a lot of the nuts that we need for the build. And now, tonight, my plan is to continue on the lower end, obviously, bottom area. Continue building the bottom by adding the feet that I've prepared here. These are all the feet elements that we need, everything that is required. There's a couple of things to prepare still for this part of the build. Also last time I realized that I used, I think 2 extrusions in the wrong place, and I had to drill 2 more holes using this alignment tool, which was actually pretty easy with my drilling machine, with my milling and drilling machine. So that was rather easy, not a big deal. And so everything is back to plan, according to plan. And tonight we're going to assemble the feet, and we'll have to look what's next. I think the next part after assembling the feet is actually the X-axis assembly, which I'm also excited for. And I think that's probably how far we're gonna make it tonight with all the bearings and stuff that we need to assemble for that. If you are wondering why we are not having the YouTube chat anymore on screen, that has a specific reason, because Twitch reached out to me and they basically gave me a warning that having chats from multiple platforms on the stream, on the screen, actually is against the policies, and that would prevent me to become an affiliate. So I had to come back to only showing Twitch stream. Still, I'm reading the YouTube chat. I'm still reading the YouTube chat. I'm also answering the YouTube chat. But if you want your chat messages to appear on screen, then you have to go to Twitch and chat over there. Also, again, as a reminder, as every week we do this, I want to remind everyone we're having a giveaway at the moment that is only accessible through Twitch. You can go to this website here, and the link is also, let me push that also to YouTube. Let me copy paste that. And so we have it also available on YouTube, but people on YouTube, you have to go to Twitch to watch the stream with Twitch, because otherwise you will not earn the loyalty points that we call nozzles, and without the nozzles you cannot enter anything into the giveaway pot. So the way how it works, you're gonna watch the stream live on Twitch, you earn nozzles every 10 minutes you get 5 nozzles. Everything is described in a giveaway, and then you can decide whether you want to spend them into the giveaway pot or not. So this month, by the end of April 24th, we're going to give away a FlashForge Creator Pro 3D printer, which is a dual extrusion head 3D printer, pretty exciting. And Maker Viking, thanks for following on Twitch. And then at the end of the month, basically you can decide whether you want to enter into that specific giveaway using your nozzles. And you can also keep them for the next month if you're not so excited about the giveaway, and you can just say, hey, I'm not gonna go into this one for the month, I'm gonna keep them for the next one. Did you get to choose to call the points nozzles? Yes. I was just looking for some random name for the loyalty points. I was saying, hey, why not nozzles? Because, yeah, that's probably something that we can also rename it at some point in the future, but I think we're gonna get used to it anyways. No problem. It's just to have something that you can actually use in the chat messages, to have a specific command that is named. And I didn't want to just use points because points sounded rather boring. So I was said, okay, let's use nozzles. That's right, Alexander. So I want to welcome a couple more people here. Not to forget that we have also Alexander, we have Askar, we have Maker Viking, who just joined on Twitch. We have William, Martin, Harris, G-Forces. Yeah, a couple more people are coming and joining in the next couple of minutes. So let's see. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna take a quick look where we left the build, or basically where I have left the build before we ended the stream last time. And I want to give you a quick brief what I did in the meanwhile offline, basically. If you have been following along on Instagram, you probably have seen the things that I've done. T-nuts. T-nuts. Oh, nice. So let me quickly go back a couple of pages in the document. Actually, it's been quite a couple of pages since we left. I think this is the right page. So this is where I continued the build last Thursday and Friday, and I also posted that progress on Instagram. So I've added these extrusions here with the linear rails, and then I did close the frame at the back end, and I also closed then I inserted the deck panel, which is the lower panel. It's not transparent. It's black. I'm showing you it. I'm going to show it to you in a second. I pre-loaded a couple of nuts here. And then I've continued closing the frame with 2 additional vertical extrusions at the front and 1 horizontal extrusion at the front. And that's it regarding the frame. So that wasn't too complicated. Then we have, yeah, not a good idea. People would eventually leave out the T part. Yeah. I mean, if you wanna, we can basically find out what we can do as soon as I'm reaching affiliate status on Twitch, which is the next big goal. We can create custom emojis and we can use them in the chat messages, so we can think about funny memes to create for the stream. By the way, if you have a nice, if you encounter anything funny, I hope there's a couple of funny moments during the streams, then you can also clip them. I appreciate everyone who's clipping segments of the stream on Twitch, which they consider to be funny. So we can have those moments a little bit more in a concise, short way. And then, yeah, let's go. So this is where I ended on Thursday. Hey, Asker, thanks for following on Twitch. Next part that I continued doing is the A and B drives, which is essentially assembling a couple of parts that are eventually going to be the belt tensioning system. So that's where these are blocks where the motors are screwed against and where the belts are running along. So you have a lot of these bearings here. We'll take a closer look at the final thing in a second. So we're gonna, like, I did assemble this. That was a little bit of a tedious part because you have to prevent everything from falling apart before you can push it together. And then I've basically aligned the pulleys to the motors using this nice tool. Pushed everything together, screwed the motor on top, and did repeat the same thing for the B side, which is the basically the both motors who drive the core XY system. And that's how it looks in the end. That's how it's supposed to look at the end. We can take a look now because I think it's pretty obvious what I did here. So maybe this is a good position. So these are the two drives. We have the bearings where the belts are going to run along. Very tight, as I realized. So it's going to be a very interesting part to push all of the belts through these idlers and having them run long. And then we have, this is how it looks from the top. So here are the pulleys, different height, obviously, because one is driving the upper belt and the other one is driving the lower belt. And then we have the tensioning system here using these two knobs, which we can use to tighten the belts once they are installed. And then last thing, also not too complicated part that I did finish last week is the front idlers. And there's also a little tightening or mechanism here to tighten up this whole thing using a special tool. Yeah, we shouldn't lose this part here. Forgot the name of this, but yeah. So yeah, this is a little bit. I think it's gonna be held by a screw in the end. So then we have to turn everything upside down. That's where we ended. This is the bottom panel, basically just an acrylic piece. Here is the end stop switch cable, which is going under the printer, obviously. And now this next section is about installing the printer feet and also the filament sensor, which runs inside one of the, or which is installed in one of these feet. Essentially, I didn't see yet how this works. I think there's a little micro switch going to be inserted here in this little hole, but we're going to find out in a second how this works. Coming back to the manual, yeah, these are the A, B idlers, front idlers. Preloaded a couple of nuts, then I did the final check of the alignment, so everything is like in the right position. So all of the upper idlers and drive is aligned, and then also the lower idlers and A drive pulley is the same height. That check was already done. And now we are coming, yeah, to the Z-axis, but that's just, we're skipping a couple of the things here because that part is different when you are not using the Piccabilly, or now how's it called? The aluminium frame for the Z frame. We are using an aluminium shaped part, which is just one single element here. This original drawing shows the Z-axis mount, which is comprised of multiple extrusions, but ours is basically just one aluminium part. And also the mount of the nut holder basically is a little bit different, and we're not yet assembling that. That's coming a couple of pages later. What we need to do now, before doing anything else, is we need to preload a lot more T-nuts into the extrusions, so we can assemble the feet, and the feet are basically then preventing those nuts from falling out of the frame. That's what we have to do it. Okay. 8 people on Twitch. My goodness, it's getting better and better. More people are watching from Twitch than from YouTube. That was different last week or the weeks before. I think I was... Could I find this information here? I think we had... Yeah, 10 people watching. Around about 12 people watching last week. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's getting better. It's getting better. So, we're gonna get there eventually. So let's get back into the manual and preload some T-nuts here. And you can... If it moves and it shouldn't, tape. If it doesn't move and it should. VD40. W. Yeah, by the way, I have added a couple more panels here. You see we're making some progress here on the right hand side of the studio. Added this paper towel holder, ruler, isopropanol, WD-40, the lithium. So we are still missing one for the silicone spray. I need to find a proper size, and I'm also missing one for Red Bull. So at least we need 2 more mounts for those, and I have a couple more sprays and scanning spray and stuff that I need there to be mounted on that side. And then I will probably move a lot of the tools over to that right hand side, and we're gonna have a couple of different things here, for example 3D printed images and stuff like that. So I want to keep it more for a display purpose. Left and middle part, and right hand side is going to be all a tool section, where I have access to all of the tools. The hammer hanger, of course, brightens up the room. Yeah, the wood paneling. The funny part is I was looking back in my video history recently, and I found this video here. Let me dig it out. That's not too long ago. When was it? When was that? I think it was the review of... Let me see which live stream that was. I think the Creality K1C first look video from... When was it? What was the date? It doesn't show me the date. Why does it not show the date? Creality K1C first look. February 21. Look at that. February 21. That's how the studio looked. Basically 3 months back. Or least. No, less than 3 months actually. Less than 3 months back, the studio looked like this. So there was still the window, which I also covered using a wooden panel, and then I've basically just covered everything with the printed panels. So that's the progress, basically the difference between now and 3 months ago. I'm just, yeah, that was the left-hand side. I think this was this little area here, which was, I was just starting out. You can see it here in this little corner. Little corner here. I was starting to do the gray panels in the upper left corner right here. That was the corner where I started at that time of the studio of the video. And now we're basically done, I would say. We're basically done. Just missing a couple of panels here at the lower end. So to make it complete, and also to mount my internet router and a couple more spool holders. Just want to fill the whole wall and really use every centimeter. But that's almost done. Now the job is really to complete the selection of holders, mounts for stuff, and really to figure out where to put what. how to organize the things that I need. It's yeah, but I'm already pretty happy how this now looks like. It's much more yeah, it's a much more concise look and more studio-like look, and also more a workshop situation, which is definitely what we need here, like a maker build. I was also telling you last time we have 180 panels here, which is probably the biggest 3D printed wall installation for tools or tool purposed wall installation ever done. Probably I have my doubts that anyone else has such a background. Maybe a couple of people have SCADIS panels in their studio or they have it in their workshop, but probably not 180 of these panels, and that is a pretty huge amount. Okay, so let's see. Let's go back to the manual and continue where we left off. So I'm gonna do preloading of nuts here. I hope that we have enough S3 in the packages. I'm not sure how many are left. Originally I had 100 T-nuts or 100 M3 square nuts. I still hope that this is enough for everything. I can probably zoom a little bit into this build manual. So, wanna keep it in the same orientation so I'm not confusing anything. I'm inserting 3 M3 nuts here in the outer front extrusion. Or what is it? What is the action? I think it's the right. Depends how you look at the printer. Front right. So 1, 2, 3. And then same for the back. 1, 2, 3 in the front. 1, 2, 3 in the back. Pocket messaged lol. Pocket message. Your phone in your pocket. Okay. The panels are. I've figured out how to speed up the print time for the panels using the Bambo Lab. I think at the moment I am looking at, what was it? What does the slicer tell me? 4 hours 53 minutes, but it's actually a little bit fast because I'm printing at 124%. That means we have probably more like 4 hours per panel. So 180, a couple of them are a little bit smaller, but let's say roughly 180 full-size panels means, let's use, yeah, 720 hours, 30 days. So a whole month of non-stop printing, basically 30 days of 24/7 printing for the panels. On the weight, I think I've used, I think we've used around about 160 gram per panel. That's also quite accurate, more or less. So that means we used 180 times 160 grams, around 29 kilogram of material went into the project, and that's only the yeah, I think that's combined with the colored panels. So there's a couple of colors paneled, not only a gray, but on the left hand side we have the filament spool holders, and behind that I've used other materials, color PLA, but overall that'd be around about 29 kilogram of material. So let's preload a couple more nuts here. But if you have ideas, suggestions, what kind of SCADIS installations you would like to see here in the studio, let me know. I'm still open for any ideas. I was also thinking about having kind of a wall of fame for the longest supporters of the channel. There is a couple of people who are supporting me quite a while now on Patreon, who've been Patreon supporters for actually a couple of years already. Like there's a few select people who have done this for a couple of years now. When I like basically look at that number and see how we can have like a Wall of Fame section. I recently also got basically enabled YouTube subscriptions or memberships, I think it's called. So we don't want to forget about those people who started also supporting me, becoming a member on YouTube. But I think for every type of channel, Patreon, YouTube, Twitch, which is going to come next, if people want to support there and they do it for a longer period of time, we can basically have a loyalty measurement and say we can basically see easier like how long have people supporting the channel, and then we can also put them on the wall, right? So it makes most sense for me. So this was done here. I'm finished here. We are going to turn this around to 180, and we are doing again 3 on the side extrusions. 1, 2, 3 here. I'm not showing you this, is not super exciting. Probably want to keep looking at the manual with you. So we'll have 1, 2, 3 here in the back and in the front. And then we have another 4 at the other back extrusion. So these are 3 for the side extrusions. 1, 2, 3. So, and then we have 4 in the right back and 3 in the left back extrusion. Okay. So 3 go here. 1, 2, 3. I realized that using these square nuts, it's actually not a deal breaker if we would forget a couple of them or one of them. It's not a deal breaker. You can still slide in the T nuts or the square nuts very easily. The only thing is that they you have to catch them with the screw. It's a little bit harder to catch them and get the screw in because it's gonna have a little bit of more play without these plastic parts that we use to push them in. But it still would theoretically be possible to add another square nut later, so it's not impossible. It's just a little bit easier to handle if you have the plastic no drop nuts adapters and push them in together. It's just a bit easier to grab with the screw, and also so they're not gonna fall out that easily, or not gonna fall out basically. So right hand side we have 4. I'm almost done with that. So when we double check again what we did here, we have 3 nuts here, another 3 here. We have another 3 on the back left, and we have another 4 at the back right. And I think next page is about checking and preloading more nuts. So looking at the side again, we have 3 here on the top. We have 3 on the sides. We have that is correct. We're looking at the Opposite side, one more time, one last check. 3 top, 3 left, 3 right. That's good. And the back, we have 2 in the upper extrusion. That's good. We have 3 on the left, we have 4 on the right. 1. Well, this has probably somewhat sliding around here. That's possible. That's maybe, that might have been running to the side somewhere. Don't see it. Anyways, if we missed one of them, it's not a problem. We can still slide them in later. I think it's just a more convenient way to do it with the no drop nuts. If we would be using normal M3 nuts, M3 with 6 edges, then hex nuts, then this wouldn't be possible. So like you couldn't push them in after the fact just through the slot. That's not so easy, but the square nuts have a smaller profile and they can be pushed in later also. So we have that. And for the spool holder, that's a special call out here. I think we only need 3. Actually, we inserted 1 to we inserted 4 on the right hand side, but I checked back with the manual and where I've printed out a special a different version of the spool holder, which is it consists of 2 pieces, and you can remove the spool holder just by sliding it in and out. And that is a different way to mount it. It only requires 1 screw. The original is mounted with 2 screws, and it's not removable just by sliding. So we actually only need 3. Then we're gonna remove the quick. Even if we would need 1 more anytime in the future, we could also slide it in. Okay, that's it from this position. Should be it. Then we're preloading more nuts or double checking whether they are there. This is the front. So we should have 4 at the front, which is good. I see them. We have 4 here. Then we have everything. I think we should have everything that we need. If I'm not mistaken, this should be good. Good to go. Good to go. Yeah, looks good. Looks good to me. Okay, so we're doing the feet installation now. Clean up a little bit my mess here. Still have to arrange some stuff here in the studio the next week to finish stuff into their designated positions. So what I want to do now is inserting the heated inserts into a couple of the feet elements. So we have this is where we are passing through the power cable, and there is going to be a power switch here. This is a normal power cable connector. So we need heatset inserts in 2 positions, and then a few more for these feet here. So there's also heatset inserts to be done here, and I think also for the last piece we actually need 2. Double checking if I'm not mistaken, we have 2 more here. So preheating my soldering iron, and then we're going to do it here with my heatset station. We have a couple more heatsets available from the kit. Should be plenty enough for everything. So let's do this. Great. Proposals: you can make a hexagon version of the IKEA Skadis wall panel. Well, a hexagon version would mean we couldn't use the original holes anymore, right? I'm all in for a hexagon. Maybe we should create a couple of hexagon add-ons to say we can get decorations with hexagon pieces. We could also do hexagon light installation, for example. One thing that I did here, which is, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I routed the cables for these tube lamps behind the panel, so it's easy. Figured that it's actually pretty easy to do this. So we can easily push cables through the holes and also behind the panel. So if you need any electricity for anything, then we can do this quite quickly. Will it be running NEMA 17s? Yes. Let me check. NEMA 14 actually. It's NEMA 14 motors. So it's the smaller ones. NEMA 14. Actually, that's because the Sprinter is so small and lightweight that it's probably not requiring bigger motors. XGA Lintex 3 has a question about the ANIT AM8. Where is it now? It's not in the studio at the moment. I have to figure out where I have it. I think it's in the other room, but it still exists. Eventually you can figure out if it's still working. Okay, so let's do the heatset inserts. It should be heated up now. You can push in the first one right here. Looks good. Yeah, that looks clean. So there's a second one to be done here for this specific part, because that is a little different because of the filament runout sensor. Also looks clean. Actually, I really like how the parts came out in the ABS-X material from Novofil. My favorite material at the moment, honestly. I was never a person who printed so much ABS. Didn't have a printer that could do it, and also not in an enclosure. But since I have the X1 carbon and now the Creality K1C, started to print a lot more ABS material, and really started to really like it, because also new ABS materials are much better to use and have less warping and less do not stink as much as they might have been in the past. So overall, I became a huge fan of using these ABS-X materials, which are also like a little bit like more modern than probably older ABS brands and composite materials. So we're pushing in. The heatset inserts. I think we only have one more to go. That was quick. Good. Double checking, but I think we only have two in this first piece here. Yes. So then we have the standard feet, which are, I think, two equal looking feet, and then we have this one here, which is the the filament pass-through element, where the filament comes out comes into the printer, goes through this sensor section, which is a little slot here. We'll have to check out how this works. Didn't see the sensor yet for that, but it looks like it's going to be very small. And yeah, now we have to push in or screw in those rubber feet. Next thing to do. We have these little rubber feet here, and we need specific type of screw, which is M3x10. Let's find that. Couple of empty bags already. Where's my empty M3x10? Should be here somewhere. M3x6, M3.6, M3.8, M3.10. Here we go. Great. Dinky steppers for a dinky printer. Small ones, yeah. Okay, so let's go and assemble the first one. This would be the one. What? Let's go. So we have the rubber feet. Number one. Number two. And three. Where does it belong? Here in this corner. Come on. And to the last one. Great. Good. Now it is time to figure out how this sensor piece works. Holy pieces, Batman. The collets are made up of 5 individual pieces. We need to find them first in our collection of dozens of bags of things. We need to find that specific little piece here. I think I don't have it yet. I think it's still in another little box. Properly. Here we go. This is the one. So we need the pack. This is the Voron V0.2r1 upgrade parts. That was this little sensor piece was added in the second iteration of the printer. So we want to figure out what we actually need. They say The ECA-S04 collets are made up of 5 individual pieces shown on the left. Don't want to drop anything. We're going to discard the black rubber piece from the assembly. It's not needed for our application. So discarding the black rubber piece. Okay. Still curious, what are the other parts? How many pieces are? This is a couple of things already assembled together. So actually, it looked like to me that these are all individual pieces, but in fact, we have this little collet here, the blue one. That's the last piece. And then we have this one here, which already has the Bowden fixation ring. I would say the little teeth. And on the back, we have already this cover element, which is, and then we had a rubber element that I removed. So we have everything that we need. I think now we just need to push things together, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna push the blue ring in. Hopefully that's right. It's not as easy. I need something flat. Something flat to push that in. Here we go. Yeah, that looks good. That's how it should look like in the end. So we can push that. And we also have a little locker ring or some fixation U-shape. I have no idea how to call that. But that's used, that's going to be pushed in this little gap here to secure this together, or to secure the PTFE tube once it's inserted. There's a little fixation pushed in, and that's going to hold the PTFE tube in place. Now we need to push this in here without, hopefully not not dropping it and also not breaking the plastic. No, not so easy. Okay. Coming together. Looks like this is properly inserted in place. That's how it's supposed to be. Let's give it a last push. Okay, so now somewhere we need the sensor to go in. There is another little package here. Let's see. Yeah, there's a micro switch here. Very tiny one. Very tiny micro switch. Hope you can see that. This is our, I think this is supposed to be the filament sensor. Let's take a look at the assembly manual. So we assembled this collet. Inserted that into here, and then we have a bearing. That's, now I understand how this works. We have a little bearing that's used to push against our little switch. And if I'm not mistaken, the bearing is where the filament runs along and pushes up. So we are pushing this bearing. That's how it works. Now I get it. We have this tiny little bearing here. I'll get it a little bit closer. And that is pushed in this little slot here. See? Now it sits in there. And once the filament pushes through, There's my, oh, we can use this one, I guess. Once the filament comes, it's pushing. That's too thick, actually. Where's the small one? Where's my thinner hex driver? Don't see it here. Maybe. Yeah. Eventually find it. Let's see. Well, just pushed it somewhere on the table. Eventually. And the switch is supposed to be installed above it, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Okay, let's just do that. So we're installing the switch and we are going to push the micro switch. I'm gonna mount it above that little bearing. We only need one screw. Let's see. What type of screw head is that? Also hex. Okay. Good. Just need a smaller, probably a smaller screwdriver. See if that works. Yes. So gonna stop it. Don't fall out, my friend. So. That tiny switch in position. Good. So let's try to push through some filament. Yeah. I don't have a leftover piece. Let's cut something from the spool. Okay. So pushing in some filament should give us a clicking sound. Don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear the switch clicking noise. It seems to be working. Simple, but pretty effective, I would say. Great. Okay. So that part is also done. The filament runout sensor. Nice. 4mm pneumatic push-in connector. I use that a lot of. Yeah. Nice. The micro switches like that are used in computer mouse if you ever need spare quickly. Yeah, I will remember. And can I disassemble this one and put it into my mouse? Okay, now it's time to fix our feet to the printer's bottom. Let's do that. We need M3x40 screws for this, and is it on auto ISO or not? Oh, let's put it on auto. Good. So where do we put which one? We have this part goes to the front. That way. We don't want to have those T-nuts here. And we probably want 2 T-nuts here at this position. That is, it's not really described in the manual or not really pointed out so specifically, but I would prefer to have my hex driver, my smaller one. Where is it? Under some of the bags, I suppose. Somewhere hidden here. Here we go. Here we go. So, what we should do. We want this piece to be at this position, but we also want the slide-in nuts to be in the right position. So the way how to do this is really pushing through here, pushing the screwdriver or the hex driver through here, and then aligning those positions before we use the screws to so we have it a little bit easier now, having every T-nut in the right position. That's great. We also have a couple of them here. We'll also probably want to push them back because none of them are going to be used here, and we only need one M40 screw. So this is the first thing to fix. And then we need to do 2 more from the front. And we should have the T-nuts in the right position now. Should be good. Do we? I hope so. Looks so far so good, but yeah, let's see. This one seems to work. Other one didn't grab for some reason, didn't grab the screw. This is a little bit unfortunate because now we have to remove it again and find out why it is not grabbing the T-nut. It's just a little misaligned. Where are you going, my friend? Maybe we should do the T-nut first before we do. I think the manual should probably mention that. Probably more clever than first doing the top screw. It's probably better to have the front ones going in first. So let's try this one more time. Okay, let's orient them first. Let's push them. It's okay actually. It should be fine. They are both in a good position. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, this seems to be working better. Doing the front first, and then we do the top screw. Or the bottom, if you will. Because we're upside down at the moment. So this first foot is fixed, I'd say. Success, at least, or one. Then we have the other ones, other corners. Probably easier now. I'm wondering, is there any visual difference here? Yes, slightly different. Tiny difference. We also don't want to have any T-nuts under them, obviously, because otherwise you might be doing something you don't want. Fixing them under the feet or something. Okay, so we have two more of these simple ones, only requiring one top screw. Or one passing through M340. And the way how to figure which one is which side is we want these, for whatever reason, we want these two little holes here aligned with the printer side. That's how to figure out which one is the right, like left or right foot. Great. The last one with the sensor comes here. Let's push T-nuts to the middle. And there's only one screw only for this one. Is it actually facing inwards? Yes, seems so. I was wondering, why is it pointing this direction? But I guess we are feeding the filament from here, and then we have the PT feed tube going to the printhead in this direction, probably through this hole there. I'm gonna figure that out later. So let's give it a last push. Everything is firmly tightened up. Okay, so we have that part. Remembering these hex nuts, yes, we did. We found them. Now we have the covers. Nice little red pieces covering those feet. That's why we have these little red, these little holes here. So we need to find out which one goes where. This is probably one of that side. Here we go. Nice. Nice little accent. Just a tiny detail, but I like it. We need special M2x10 self-tapping screws. Let's find those. Here we go, M2x10. Just realized we have a lot of them. We'll probably have more parts that require this. For interestingness, we need to find the right position to mount, but that's actually not too bad. It's not tightened up yet. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. So, one thing I almost forgot is checking this, how many people are currently watching on YouTube and Twitch. I want to welcome everyone that is watching from YouTube. Thanks for coming to the stream. I think I need to check what kind of bot messages you get currently on YouTube. Let me check it out for you. But I think Nightbot is already posting information about the giveaways every 15 minutes. So all of you nice people watching on YouTube, if you didn't see this yet, we have a giveaway going on for April. We are giving away a 3D printer, a FlashForge Creator Pro 2 dual extrusion 3D printer. If you want to take part in that, you need to hop over to Twitch and watch the stream from there. Then you can earn loyalty points and spend them on the giveaway. All of the instructions are mentioned in the giveaway page, which we probably could post again. So let me do that for you folks on YouTube one more time. Great. Okay, let's hop back into that build section. I want to fixate all of these 4 accent pieces in red. And then we should be pretty much done with the feet section. Right away. Okay, music is still working. I was just wondering if it's still playing. Not too loud, hopefully. So, if you're just starting to watch, we're currently building the Voron V0.2r1 3D printer kit from LDO. And if you missed my previous streams, you can go on my YouTube page and re-watch those live streams if you want. Yeah, and just go ahead and ask me questions, because I think it's currently a little bit quiet. Especially there's a couple more people joining on YouTube. If you want, why don't you just leave a message in the chat, let me know what you're doing and what you like to know. Because it's rather lonely here. I'm alone in the studio. I only have you guys. So please shoot ahead and talk to me. Great, so one more to go. Haha, Tutankhamun, you're busy fixing an RC car. Oh, nice. So you're into that hobby? Another hobby I always wanted to get into, but no time for that, honestly. No time for joining that. I'm working on, Maker Viking says he's working on an updated version of Wallfinity while I watch the stream. What is Wallfinity? Let me know. Wallfinity sounds interesting. Is it Gridfinity mounts for a wall, or what is it? Okay, so we are finished with the feet section of the instruction manual. Now we're getting to the lead screw installation, and we have one major difference between the original manual and this newer version of the kit, which is we have a special version of the lead screw which does not require lubrication. That is also specifically mentioned in the build instructions, page 107. Do not apply any lubricant on the lead screw since it's Teflon coated. So we don't want to do that explicitly, because that would be counterproductive if we did that. So let's assemble that part. We basically have two parts coming together here. We have the lead screw, the motor, which are already one element basically. And then we have the motor holding piece. This is the plastic mount that is going to hold our motor into position. I'm wondering where the cable is. The direction of the motor wires does not matter. We'll use whatever makes most sense for your electronics layout, so we have to double check where we want to have the motor pointing. Easiest way to fix this, figure this out is probably just pushing this through and seeing where are we going to have our electronics. I guess we're going to have everything here at the back. There's going to be holders for the Raspberry Pi and stuff, but I can also double check where this goes. My best guess is that I want the motor cable to be pointing to the back. Just a guess. Didn't find that page yet. Maybe we can figure out where we are going to have the electronics. Just in a second. Just skipping ahead to that section. So maybe we can find out. I think the electronics are going to be, yeah, it's going to be at the back. So everything is mounted to the back panel, and that means we actually want the motor cable for the Z motor to be coming out to the back, and then we can directly put it up, route it here. So that's why I say let's have it pointing to the back. So let's go back to that page. Here we go. Yeah, so that's where we are. So we're pointing the motor here. Makes the most sense to me. Okay, so we need M3x6 screws, and we need a little more light. It's a little too dark. A little too dark here. That's better. Okay, so we're gonna fix it like this. We need M3x6 BHCS. 3x6. 8. Empty. 10. M38, M316. Should sort them by size, huh? Should I? Okay, M3x6. So, you have an old Nico RC car. My goodness, nice. So, Maker Viking, it's compatible with Gridfinity. It has integrated some of them, but I'm working on a wall part to make it modular as well. So basically Gridfinity and my Wallfinity mixed into one. Sounds interesting. I'm interested in the final design. If you want to publish that at some point, let me know. Great. You can send me the link. I can post it in the chat. I'm not sure if it's going to work for you to post it. It's the wrong length. Oh yeah, I've mixed up the screw length. Honestly, I need one M3x6, which is going to be the front. And then we need M3x8 for the other ones. M3.6, M3.8. Here we go. There's so many bags in this pack, in this kit. I'm always searching for the right one. Okay, so we have that. We have that. So tighten it up nicely. And we don't apply the lubrication as we said. We have a Teflon thread and now we are pushing that through. I think there's a special mention of that. Attach the top and spring on the backlash nut on the step. Refer to a video on page 108. This can be a little tricky to get the part to properly mesh and spring into place, so take your time. Okay, so we're gonna be looking at that for a second. Pushing in the motor. And I think here we go. This is the part where it gets critical. We probably want to watch that video. But we're not jumping. We don't want to jump away from the manual, my friend. Let's stay on this. So, let's see how we do this. Pushing through the motor. We are fixing it loosely, as they say, loosely fixing it in place using our T-nuts. Not so easy, because we have to basically screw the lead screw into the counterpart in the bed before we can fix that stuff in place. We also need to make sure that with the other two T-nuts also properly positioned. That's not so easy. So we need to push them also in the right position here in the front. This one and that one. So we have to align 4 T-nuts into the right position. So you see we have 2 T-nuts from this side and 2 from that side. And everything needs to be aligned so we can then fix everything into the right place. But we need to hit all of the T-nuts. So I guess we are, at least for just getting the screws in, we're in a good position now. M3x8 4 times. But we don't want to tighten stuff up, so we just want to keep it loose. So we can still move things around. Okay. We're not grabbing the T-nut for some reason. That's a difficult one. That's a difficult one. It's not grabbing. Why? It's not clear to me at the moment, but we'll see. It's not obvious. We have the T-nuts in the right position, but we're not grabbing. It's not grabbing them. But this, good question. Why is it not grabbing the T-nut? Let's try again. Maybe just tilt it a bit. Maybe it's just too far away. Ah, no. So maybe that one is a little critical here. It's a little too far in. Could be. That's why it's not grabbing. Oh, this one doesn't work for whatever reason. Not getting it in. What's going on? So this one is good here. The other one is completely missing. Where is it? I don't get it. Why do we not grab it? Weird. Is that maybe a defective T-nut? Might be. Let's get it out one more time. Okay, let's figure this out. Maybe the screw is too short. We can also try another one. We can also try to get the T-nut out. I think these two here are too. I didn't insert them with the no drop nuts, so they are probably a little far in. That could be the reason. We could also try longer screws. I would rather now give it one more try. Trying to align them one more time with the hex driver, getting them into the best position. Hopefully. You see that the no drop nuts have an important function. They are not only keep the T-nuts in a proper position, but also pushing them to the front so you can more easily insert the screws. We probably want to try this now. Is it working now? Come on, my friend, come on. Grab it. Okay, seems to work now. Seems to work. Come on. Now it's crazy. Where is it now? One hand, now I grabbed the other one successfully, the right hand, and now I miss the left one. What's going on there? So it somehow moved. Maybe I pushed it with the screw. No idea. Giving it one more try now. Give it a final alignment here. Are we in a good position now? No, it's pushing away. Actually. That's the downside if you don't use the no drop nuts. You're so easily pushing them out of the right spot. I'm super careful now. And with the no drop nuts, they're not fixed in place, but are more or less likely to move out of the position. It's now working. No, it's not working. Oh, maybe I grabbed it now. Okay, let's give it one try on the other side before it's too late. Before something moves or losing the screw. I have no idea where it's now. Okay, got it. Got it. So, question is now, where are the other T-nuts now? Are they still here? Hope so. Yes, and you see how much easier that is when you have the no drop nut. It's just working, right? So right away it's working, and so we don't want to tighten it up too much. Still should be moving a little bit. We need to release it just a bit. Don't want to drop. Just want to lose the nut again. But now it's still can move. That's what we want. What was this? I think this was one of the long ones, 3x40. Yes. Great, great. Working now. Okay, so keep them loose, as it says, and probably want to watch the video now. How is this going to work? Is there some audio?
How to use the anti-backlash nut that is included with some LDO V0 motors. The idea is that the two parts here will mesh together.
Let me just turn off the music.
Preload or press and make sure this bottom nut is always in contact with your screw, even when changing directions. So to set it up,
Let's go back
you're
again.
going to start by threading the nut onto the screw. Just a little bit, doesn't have to be much. Okay, quick overview of how to use the anti-backlash nut that is included with some LDO V0 motors. The idea is that the two parts here will mesh together, but be spring-loaded apart to preload or press and make sure this bottom nut is always in contact with your screw, even when changing directions. So to set it up, you're going to start by threading the nut onto the screw, just a little bit, doesn't have to be much. Put the spring on, take your other top part, press down. You're gonna have to hold the bottom here and line up, I don't know if you can see it, line up these two parts so they mesh together, and then gently thread it down. If it's done correctly, this part won't spin relative to here, but now your nut is locked rigidly on the screw. That's it. Okay, quick overview of how to use the
Okay, so sounds logical, but the problem or the tricky part is that we probably have to, we can just release the thing. I guess we can do that. I'm wondering if it's possible to do it after the fact. Let's see how well this works, because it was like we had to push the motor into the position. So we had to like fixate the motor and just keep it loose, but still we already have the counterpart mounted here. I'm wondering how much can we push that out? Probably not much. So I'm wondering what we should do to get this properly mounted. Probably, yeah, let's just try to get it over that. So we are going to push the spring on. We have that T-nut here, or that counter part. But that's probably not going to work, right? It's not going to go over. So that's not how it works. We need to push it on while this is not yet fixed. Easiest part is probably getting this, releasing this from the bed mount. Hope so, at least. So we can put. Let's try that. I mean, so we can't break anything here. We can just try to. We can try to get this up a bit, and then we can we put these two things together? It's probably not gonna work, right? It's probably not gonna work. I mean, you can try to bring them together, but we need to do this while nothing is on the screw. That's rather not logical to me. Why should we then do the assembly first? And why should we then do all of that first? That's tricky, yeah? Loosen these two screws. Yeah, I did that. We are going to ensure that our bed movement is smooth. If you get a grinding noise or skipping, cycling the bed later, this is the step you will have to return to. Alignment. Make your assembly, move your bed assembly all the way to the lowest position. We want to make sure that our motor and lead screw assembly is in line with our T-nut block and the backlash nut, blah, blah, blah. But that's already when the backlash nut is mounted. So the motor is kind of in place but loose. Loosen these two screws. We are going to ensure that our bed movement is smooth. You're funny, my friends. How should we bring this together? Okay, we're gonna figure that out. Let's try. Okay, I'm going to bring this together now. But I can't really push this closely together. It's not possible, if you ask me. It's probably only possible if you have everything off that lead screw. Otherwise, I don't see how this should work. That is tricky, at least. Okay. I mean, I understand what they want to do, but it works, of course, the easiest if that thing here is not assembled. Yeah. But as soon as it's assembled, it's getting harder. And you cannot force that together, obviously. You cannot force it into position. You actually have to have both things off that lead through, if you ask me. Then it is very easy. Otherwise, it's rather not possible. I mean, what we can do, we can of course take all of that off. And this is not a problem. Actually, we can take that off. Why don't we... I have an idea. It's not beautiful, but it's probably should be working at least. We can take that off. Does this really help us? Yeah, it should be. Should be helping. We can take this off. We can just remove this holding piece. I mean, this sounds like the easiest way to do this, honestly. Just removing this part. Taking everything to the top and then pushing it together, putting it back on. Why not? Sounds more logical to me than the other way. Okay. So, let's try this. So, let's take it apart. So, idea is now we're going to reassemble this. So that we have that in place. Gonna reassemble this. Now, not tightening up the screws so much. Probably this is also something that they want us to do later. So just have that in position. Now pushing down this nut here so it's together. Not the easiest thing, honestly. So these two pieces need to come together now. We need to have them holding together and now pushing it onto the lead screw. Is it working? No, it's not working. Okay, that one, the first try was a little, I had not enough force. But we have, I mean, we can try this, we can get it done. Okay, one more time. The tricky part is we need to have these so tightly together that once we have the lead screw coming through, it's not pushing these two parts apart. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, that felt better, and it's also staying together now. It's not moving. Okay, and let's bring it up again. Let's mount. So I can reassemble that to the bed frame. I think that should be explained in the manual in a different way. This way it's much easier, honestly. Much more logical. Cannot imagine how I should have done this without taking that part off. There's no way to access that. Okay. G-forces, colors are looking good together. Yeah, I was really hoping that the candy red and the bronze will play nicely together, but so far I'm actually pretty happy. I'm still not sure how the skirts are going to, like, if they look great in bronze or if we should actually use the red color instead, but I'm still open to change that. Let's try out moving the bed up and down. So far, the backlash nut seems to be working. Now I think we now need to do some alignment, or yeah, we need to basically just align motor and lead screw and this top element so everything works in a straight line. So let's get back to how this is supposed to be done. The motor is still movable. The upper end is probably, we have to release it a bit. So it's not fixed so much. Okay, so let's come back to this. How is it working? I have released that part here. Alignment of the backlash nut. Move your bed assembly all the way to a lowest position. We want to make sure that your motor and lead screw assembly is in line with our T8 nut block and the backlash nut assembly. There is excess room available around the screw holes of the backlash nut to ensure that you can attach the nut and not cause binding in the Z-axis at its lowest position, even if it's slightly off center. Okay, so let's try that. Let's push bed assembly down all the way. I don't want to lock the cable in here. Okay, that's why the end stop switch. That's the end stop switch. I think what we could do, this is now more or less in that position. Let's lock this up slightly more. It's not moving anymore. So let's try. I just want to make sure that it's equally easy to move that in any position. Let's see, come down to the lowest position where we can now lock the motor in some place, and I also see that the motor is rather in the center. It's probably good. Okay, so it's now not moving. Let's fix the motor. So I can now try again. Is it any binding any harder now? I don't think so. Still same amount of force. Okay, I can still see, does it move anywhere? And we still give it one more shot. Trying to make it equally tight here. There's no difference. Okay, that feels the same way. Okay, let's also tighten the other two screws here. And we're gonna triple check. Still moving good. Okay, that's good. Seems fine for me. Good, what's next? Lead screw, manual cycle a bed up and down to ensure proper alignment. Yeah, we can do that one more time. I think it's, for me, it felt that we have no additional resistance in the upper end, so this is equally requires the same amount of power, regardless of the position. Sounds good to me. Feels good. Yeah, that's good. X-axis, next step here. That's something for Wednesday, I'd say. Didn't go as far as I was anticipating today, but I mean, we assembled the Z-axis, we got it working. It runs smoothly. So far, we have all of the required nuts inserted. I'm pretty happy with the progress, and probably not going to get to anything by Wednesday, but if I can, I will post progress. If I have any time tomorrow, I will do. Otherwise, we're gonna continue on Wednesday with the next steps, which is going to be the assembly of the X-axis. And then, yeah, next part is after we have the X-axis, we can install the belts. So making some progress, but we're still not. We still have like 50%, more than 50% to go in terms of the pages. So we still have. We are on page 114, and we have until 247, 248. So more than 50% still to go. I can definitely say this is one of the most complex builds I've ever done, with so many steps. Prusa M Mark III or Mark IV is probably much less work to do. But here we have a couple of pages more, I would say. Probably 100 pages more, even more. But still, we're having fun, right? So it's going good. So far, so good. I'm taking a picture. I'm posting on Instagram tomorrow morning, and we'll see where we go until Wednesday. I'm gonna say goodbye for tonight, my friends. See you next time on Wednesday. Watch out for the notification on YouTube and on Twitch. And as always, I wish you a couple of days, nice days. Have fun, stay healthy. We're gonna see each other on Wednesday. Bye bye.